Alright, area of a triangle problems are also relatively straightforward. We just got to take into consideration one little thing. If you look at the formula for the area of a rectangle we get by 1/2 times the base times height. So we basically are multiplying the base and the height here together, and then we're taking half of that to get the actual area. So because of that fraction, we just got to look at one thing. So looking at this problem, they give me the area of the triangle. It's actually 30. The base down here of the triangle is 5. And then the height of the triangle is being represented by this expression x plus 3. So just taking this formula right here and substituting everything that we know, we get this a right here that turns into 30 because that's the area. 1/2 stays the same. Again, this base and this height is interchangeable. We can switch those around, but since we do have the base of 5, we have the 5 right here, and then the x plus 3, that is our height. So we basically have this 5 being multiplied by this x plus 3, and then we're taking half of that. But in order to undo that 1/2, we really just need to multiply both sides by 2 to totally get rid of that fraction. So if I take this 30 right here and I multiply it by 2, it gives me 60 right here. If I take 1/2 and I multiply that by 2, that kind of cancels out because it turns into 1. So then I'm just left with this 5 times x plus 3, and so that's where that comes from. We just kind of drop that down. So again, I multiplied both sides of this equation by 2 just to get rid of that fraction. Again, multiplying this side, 30 times 2 is 60. Multiplying this whole side by 2 gives me just 5 times x plus 3. Again, because 1/2 times 2 turns into 1, and then we don't write the 1 because it hides. So then we've got this equation down here. 60 equals 5 times x plus 3. Well, in order to undo the multiplication between this 5 and this x plus 3, we need to divide. So we divide both of these sides by 5. Well, 60 divided by 5, that gave me 12. This 5 times x plus 3 divided by 5, the 5's cancel, I'm left with just x plus 3. So then from there, to undo that addition of that 3, we subtract. 12 minus 3 gives me 9. These 3's cancel right here. So we get 9 equals x. Well, that's the same thing as x equals 9. So now we figured out what our x value equals, and we can use that to come back here to substitute that value of x for what we know it to be. And we just found that to be 9. So over here, you see we have our height being represented by this expression x plus 3. Well, we now know that x equals 9. So we just substitute x for 9. 9 plus 3 gives me 12, and that's the actual value of the height. We could quickly check our answer here to see if we get our area back. We could take the height of 12, and we could multiply that by the base of 5. You would see that we got 60, and then taking half of 60 from this equation gives me 30, the area. So again, area of triangle problems, relatively straightforward. Once you get your equation set up, your first step will be multiply both sides times 1/2, and then you just follow your rules of solving equations to get x, and then make sure that you plug it back in. Hope this helps.